Hey guys, welcome back. I have the tape measure out. So that means that it's time to get this started. So the last time that I think I checked in with you guys was something to the effect of when I was sick and my hair was falling out and I wasn't doing very well. And I had previously to that started into my bulk in January after a horrible flare-up. I've had some ups, I've had some downs, and then I had another flare-up in February, which you guys got to see some of the after effects of. It was absolutely horrible. I do deal with an autoimmune disorder, and we're not really quite certain what it is yet. It's looking to be lupus, but we're not really certain just yet because it's really hard to diagnose. Back in January, I started into this bulk, and I have been working my ass off prepping for it because I knew that my cut was going to start here in just a few more weeks now. Now it is, oh God, what is today? Okay, so today is Monday, May the 14th, and that puts me at 23 weeks out. I am going to start my cut at 20 weeks out. I know that seems like a really long cut, but I'm gonna go fairly slow because I don't want to have another flare-up. I am starting this video series with me still in my bulk for another 3 weeks because I want to show you guys some of what has gone into my bulk. It has been a crazy time because I have had 2 flare-ups since this bulk began. I have lost weight and then regained that weight. I did start an entirely new diet, the keto diet, and it has helped so much dealing with my symptoms of this autoimmune BS. In this series, I am going to be talking about my diet, my macros, my workouts, my cardio. I'm going to talk about recipes, what it's like to travel while I am bulking and cutting, because we really enjoy the outdoors. And in Kansas, the spring, summer, fall, which is my entire prep, is when we usually go and get outside and go see really neat places, really neat things. So I do want to show you what it's like to carry all that food with you, to work out when you're out at the lake, to, I don't know, a road trip while you're doing all this, because it does take some preparations, it does take time, it does take a lot of forward thinking. And I think that that's really important thing to share when you're going into a prep, because most people don't show all that. They just show, you know, a few bad times, a few positive times, and then show day. And they're like, oh my God, life is glorious, amazingness. And then that binge meal right afterwards. And I don't get to do a bunch of that. I'm gonna have ups, I'm gonna have downs. It's gonna be this crazy wavelength of progress, and all the way up until show day. And then where most people get to have like this huge binge meal, I can't because it'll make me sick. So then I'm also going to show post-show what it's like coming down off of this crazy prep. This morning I did go ahead and do my measurements on my entire body as well as my weight. So let me go ahead and pull that up here. So as of this morning at about 7:30, me at my driest, I was at 130.2. That seems to be about what I've weighed the last 3 weeks, despite upping the intensity of my workouts. Now my body fat has gone down. It was at about 16 and now it's at 15.3. I was a little dehydrated this morning at 60.8% water. I'm 37.3% muscle and 6.8 pounds of bones. So as I did my measurements, I ended up getting around my shoulders was 39 inches. Both my biceps were almost exactly 11 inches. My bust was 33.5 inches. Yes, I'm very tiny in the chest. My waist at its tiniest was 27.5 inches. My hips, just about 2 inches below my belly button, was 33.5 inches. That's like right at your iliac crest. It's usually about there. My glutes at my widest, I couldn't believe this because I've never had anything but a pancake ass, 39.5 inches. That is up from where it was previously when I first started into this, which is not in this notebook because I did start this one in January. My thighs were both about 21 inches. One was 21.5 on the left. You are going to have one that's one side of your body that's going to be more dominant than the other. And because of some of my knee problems, I am kind of more dominant on the left, even though that's hurting more. I don't get it. On my calves, they were both at almost 14 inches. I am 5'9½". I am 32 years old. This is my very first bikini prep. I was prepping for a figure competition back 3 years ago before I had my very first flare-up, which put me out for half the year. Right now, I am doing a power rep range shock routine before I start into my cut, trying to get a little bit more muscle mass. It has increased on my muscle mass, especially on my little tiny biceps. I'm so excited about that. And my quads are actually starting to look like legs again and less like little feeble sticks. So that's really, really nice. I am currently finishing up my power routine today, and then I start into my shock. I know I said power rep range shock, but I do power shock rep range. So there you go. I finish up that today. That's a very powerlifting style set of workouts, and then the next set is just kind of all over the place. It's running the rack. It is pyramid sets. It's anything that you can do to just do something different than those muscles are used to. And then I'll start into my rep range that last week before I start into my cut. And rep range is just very basic hypertrophy. As of right now, I work out about 4 to 5 times a week, typically with one intermittent fasting day. So currently right now, I have an upper lower split with an off day and then an upper lower split, and I can either take an off day or I will go back in and then do another upper body day, which is typically another shoulder arm day. I do not do any cardio at this point. I'm not putting it in there yet, and I'm currently not working abs at all. So as far as my diet is concerned, I do follow macros, and I am currently at about 3,000 calories. I am trying to keep it very high for muscle gains, obviously, but also because as we go into prep, I'm going to have to cut the calories, and I don't want to cut too quick, too fast, or anything like that. And so currently it's about 3,000 calories, and my macros are 5% carbs, 15% protein, and 80% fat. Now there are some variations in there as my days go. I know that sounds like a very little protein. There's no way that I could possibly be building. I've only been doing this since February, and I've actually made gains, so clearly it's working. That's just what I have to say about that. I am sharing all of this with you so that you can share a part of my journey, not so that you can take what I've done and use it for yourself. It has taken years and years of training myself, learning about my body, learning about what works for me and what doesn't work for me, what I like, what I don't like, to be able to do this on my own. And there's still going to be some struggles in there as things don't respond the way that I want them to. So please don't take anything that I am doing and use that to train yourself. That's not how this works. If you really, really want to learn how to do this, find a good trainer or go to school for it. Learn everything you can about it. Don't sit there and steal somebody's way of doing things and think that that will instantly work for you, because that's not necessarily how our bodies work. What works for me doesn't necessarily work for the next person. Like, I'm 5'9½". I know my body. I know what works for it. So that's a big disclaimer that I do have to put out here. On that note, I am going to be sharing my macros. If they change, I probably won't change them much because this has worked so well for my autoimmune. I am going to tell you like kind of an idea of how much cardio I'm doing and how my changes of calories go. I might not give like the exact numbers because it's not really important. It's just a decrease or an increase or whatever. I have macro tracked for 3 years. 3 years. I think 3 years now. Since I had initially began trying to prep for the figure competition before my autoimmune stuff all came rolling to a big halt on my life, okay? And so I have a really, really good idea as to what I'm eating and how much I'm eating. As of this bulk currently, I am macro tracking, but I am not putting any of it in because I plan a diet and then I stick to it like it's gold because I'm boring. Now, as I get into my cut, I am going to macro track, like all the way down to a T. I do have a scale. As far as the rest of this, I am super, super pumped to be sharing all of this with you. And since school is now out, I can actually devote the time that I want towards this. Along with this, I would like to share this journey with you, and I want you to experience it with me. And an integral part of that is being able to share with each other, not just me to you, but you to me. And I do have a Facebook, I do have an Instagram, I do have a Twitter. I do want to share these experiences with you. And for as great as Instagram is, you're only getting a portion of the story. You're only getting that which I choose to share, which is typically going to be a better picture than me sitting there making horrible faces in the gym while trying to deadlift. And if you like this, if you're into this, if this is something that you want to do, if you want to be a part of this journey, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Don't be afraid to ask me questions, because I'm always down for learning. I'm always about self-improvement, and I've said that probably like 20 times just in this, but really it's a big deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this taken care of while I eat some more of second lunch, and then that way I can get this out there and get you guys started on this journey with me. So 23 weeks out today, and I'm so excited, and I'm gonna be so sore tonight. I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this leg day. My knees are killing me, but that's okay, because tomorrow I'll have either a fasting day or an upper body day, so it's fine. So I think that's everything that I wanted to share with you guys, so I will check in with you guys later. Hopefully you'll come along on this ride with me.